సార్ నమస్తే అండి.
నమస్కారం అండి, ఎలా ఉన్నారు?
బాగున్నా, థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్. మనం చాలా వారాల నుంచి పిల్లల కోసం, వాళ్ళ కెరీర్ కోసం, వాటన్నిటి గురించి డిస్కస్ చేస్తుంటే, సో ఇద్దరు యంగ్స్టర్స్ ఈరోజు మనతో జాయిన్ అయ్యారు. సో వాళ్ళ కెరీర్ లో వాళ్ళకు ఉండే డౌట్స్ ని మీతో అడగాలి, మీ దగ్గర నుంచి తెలుసుకోవాలి అని. సో హీర్ ఈస్ సాయి చరణ్ అండ్ అఖిల.
హలో సార్, నా పేరు సాయి చరణ్. నేను లాస్ట్ 3 years నుంచి ఐఎమ్ వర్కింగ్ విత్ కార్పొరేట్. ఫస్ట్ 1.5 year ఐఎమ్ ఇన్ స్టార్ట్అప్ ఎన్వైరన్మెంట్ అండ్ లేటర్ ఆన్ ఒక ఎంఎన్సీ కంపెనీలో వర్క్ చేస్తున్నాను సార్. And thanks for the opportunity. Me dwara I have few questions and confusions, so I thought of clarifying with this opportunity.
Tappakunda andi, I look forward to your questions.
Sir, I'm Akhila. So I'm also working from 3.5 years. So first I worked in Amazon. The same I'm continuing with in a different team with Amazon. So in corporate life law, we have so many questions regarding to our career aspects. So
Okay.
which we want to discuss it with you.
My pleasure.
So sir, my question is, if we are planning to completely change our domain, I'm working in an IT domain and I want to shift for something related to financial stream. So total career change, career oriented change, will it be very risky, or how do I change if I want to change my entire domain? Because my past experience and my past working culture and also my education is not complete from financial background, but when I eventually gone through all of them which are related to financials, I feel more interested in those aspects. So if I want to change my career, how will I do it and how much risk it will be there? So I want to know about it.
Okay, there are 2-3 points. We will break it down. ఒకటి ఏంటంటే, ఫస్ట్ you want to move from engineering and IT domain into
Yes.
finance domain.
Yes.
So daniki there are 2 ways in which we can look at. One is they are asking you to go into finance. That means the
Yeah.
company manager or senior leaders say we need somebody in there, and we need somebody who has engineering background, because then skills ivi cheyadalu avi cheyadalu anni telustayi. So if you go into finance and help us, that is one thing.
Okay.
Second is you are getting interested in finance. You want to widen your experience. So you don't want to work just in IT. You want to work in different teams, marketing, product, finance. So you will get a variety of experience. So for that reason, you want to go.
Yes.
Depending on first path or second path, there are different ways in which you can get there. If you are getting interested, meek interest undi kabatti you want to get into finance ante, best thing ఏమిటంటే, మీకు if there are any certificates, finance certificates కానీ, అంటే there are some courses that you can take, online courses కానీ, Coursera, various things, అంటే that are related to the finance job in company like yours, supply chain like Amazon, Flipkart, అలాంటి వాటిలో ఫైనాన్స్ కు if you can take some very targeted specific courses, that will help you, number one. And if you are thinking of a career change itself, let us say software nunchi complete ga I want to go into finance and I want to build my career, and I look at myself becoming a CFO or general manager someday, if I want to be like that, to be a head of P&L antar kada, profit and loss kuda manage cheyalante, finance experience will be very helpful.
Yes.
Then you can plan ahead of time by saying, I want to take courses on an ongoing basis. I want to do an MBA, a finance MBA. That will be helpful anukunte. That becomes like a 1 year, 2 year, 3 year program. Naku, I have a nephew who also worked for Amazon. Before that, he was an engineer in TCS. And he decided that he is no longer interested in just being a software engineer or a coder or whatever you want to call, even though he could become a designer, go in a project lead and all of that. He felt he wanted to broaden his education. Daniki, he also applied to MBA schools in America, dan tarvata India lo. Then ఇప్పుడు చాలా కావాల్సినటువంటి GMATలు అలాంటివన్నీ తీసుకుని, when he got admission in various things, he also thought through like you. Should I stay here? Should I go to MBA? Or should I do an MS in some computer science, some data analytics or something else, which are latest topics in engineering, alanti better anpisa. Then he realized he should get into either IITs or IIMs or ISB, or if he wants to go into if he wants to go into HR type of things, XLRI kind of institutions. So he realized XLRI for finance will not be very good. But if he goes for IITs, because they are engineering institutions who are teaching management, kabatti engineering management akkada cheppina finance kuda, that will be finance which will be tuned a little bit more towards engineers ani ante ipudu the kind of degree that they get might be very interesting ani cheppi he went to IIT. He went to an IIT, he graduated, and before he graduated first year he did a internship in Amazon, and he got into Amazon quite well. And when he got into Amazon, obviously the good position that he got was able to pay off the loans, student loans and other kinds of things very quickly. And he is very happy that he has done it. Ante enduku cheptunnanu inta detailed ga ante meeku immediate ga eppudu povali, when company says I want you to go into finance position, then they don't care about your degrees or certificates or any other courses that you have taken. They will put you in there, and then you can learn by doing. Of course, that is very good. And what I would also recommend is, even in that type of situation, I would ask you to take night classes gani, extra classes gani, online gani, weekends gani. Pay attention to take some other courses in addition to what you are learning by doing, so that theory and experience will come simultaneously. But ippudu kaadu ala kaadu meeke interest undi ante, then you may have to do three things. One is figure out whether you have any friends who are doing finance jobs. Spend about an hour, or half an hour on a regular basis, like 2-3 times a week. Go and spend and try to understand what they are doing, which part of it are you liking, and ask them to kind of help you, guide you, and maybe you can help them to do some of their job, and they will also have a assistant kind of a support, maybe 2-3 hours a week. So that way you will get to know, and if you like doing that, then I recommend getting to some certification or some such thing which will help you. And if you are really interested in it, and if you want to make a long-term career change, then get into some programs which will get you an MBA finance, like that. So that is a longer process, but that is what I would do. You get all the answers for that question?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sir, this might be a little cliche question, sir, mainstream cliche question, but I just want to clarify. మీరు అన్నట్టు సార్, విత్ కరెంట్ ఆప్షన్స్ దట్ ఆర్ అవైలబుల్, సో లైక్ దెర్ ఆర్ వెరీ వైడ్ రేంజ్ ఆఫ్ ఆప్షన్స్. లెట్స్ సే ఐ యామ్ సమ్వన్ హూ ఈస్ ఆల్సో లుకింగ్ టు డూ మై MBA సో దట్ ఐ కెన్ అప్స్కిల్ మై కెరియర్. బట్ లైక్ యూ రైట్లీ సెడ్, డూయింగ్ అన్ MBA ఈస్ నౌ ఎ డిఫరెంట్ థింగ్ ఆల్ టుగెదర్. ఎందుకంటే మనం ఒక వైపు చూస్తే దెర్ ఆర్ ఆన్లైన్ ప్లాట్ఫామ్స్ దట్ ఆర్ గివింగ్ క్వాలిటీ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ అండ్ ఆల్సో సర్టిఫికేషన్. At the same time, there are premium colleges like ISBs and IIMs who are offering a very good curriculum and course, and there are regular colleges where we can do our online distance education while working. So like I said, career lo already 3 years unnamu in the respective field. So here the questions come, confusion naakemundante, ee time lo should I take a 2-year break to continue my education, which would be again an expense from my part, and do the MBA or simultaneously working and also doing a distant education will also give the same value like the classroom education, or online education can also be one option. So this is one question that is there since a long time.
See, this is an important question because it will make or break your career.
Yes, sir.
There are 2 or 3 things which you need to pay attention to in this. One is, many corporations, big companies like Amazon and some of them, they even pay you some amount of money for you to take classes. You should inquire into them, because they will pay up to certain amount of money, and they will reimburse your fees if you take from their accredited or accepted or agreed upon or a partnership arrangements unte, those institutions will help you a lot more. That means, ఇప్పుడు యుఎస్ఏలో ఉన్నారు, if you are in Amazon in Seattle, then University of Washington, if you take some courses, because Amazon and University of Washington probably work closely enough, they would have developed some courses for people in Amazon, using Amazon case studies, using Amazon kinds of stories. So it will prepare you much better. Plus, you can work and you can take courses in the weekends or evenings or something else. That would help you a lot more. Then brand plus quality plus some of the payments all get taken care of. మీరు ఇప్పుడు ఇండియాలో ఉన్నప్పుడు కూడా you might want to check, because if you are in Hyderabad, I am assuming you are in Hyderabad, you are not in, both of you are in Hyderabad or Bangalore or Hyderabad?
No, Hyderabad, sir.
Hyderabad. So అలాంటప్పుడు there may be a certification program in ISB that maybe Amazon might sponsor you to. Maybe it is only like 6-week program. Maybe there is a 4-week program. Maybe there is a 4-day program. If they can keep sending you to any kind of programs, you should take advantage of that. That is number one. Number two, you decided, let us say, I do want to do an MBA. And 3 years, it is going to be a lot of money. If you are going to do an MBA, I would recommend go for the branded schools. What I found is 80% of the MBA schools that are available in India may not give you the return on investment that you are making by paying the kind of money that you pay. So I would only go, if I'm going to leave a 3-year job and a job in Amazon, and if I'm going to go get an MBA, I would be very careful to choose the kind of college that I go to and the brand that I go to, and also the alumni that they have. See, because especially even though it is not a mid-career change for you, you are still early in the career, but because you are coming from work and coming back, I would look at global value. So that means if there is a way in which you can get into either Australian or European or American business schools, even there, the top 10%. In United States also, 80 to 90% of business schools are not necessarily great. They might give you admission. They'll be very happy to take your money. But unless you get into like a top 50 or top 100 business schools, which are rated in the EFT 100 or Business Week 100 or something else, I wouldn't go to them, number one. Number two, look at whether there are any, for example, INSEAD is there in Singapore, INSEAD there in Fontainebleau, it is there in Dubai, like that. That's a global school that will be very good. INSEAD, University of Chicago, if you want to go into finance, Wharton, Kellogg, if you want to go into what you call marketing.
Hong Kong Business School.
There are several good schools. Go for those. If you can't get into those, or there are issues regarding that. Second thing I would go for is IITs and IIMs. First IIMs, then IIT. It may be a little easier to get into IITs, and also because everybody will go for IIMs, number two type of things, you may have very good chance in IITs to, if you are able to get into good IITs, and if you are staying within the top 10 or top 20%, chances of your jobs will be as good, if not better, than IIMs. So my sense is, think about it that way. Foreign schools of top 20. ISB also falls in the same category. Actually, I tell people, if there is a way in which you can go to ISB and getting into not necessarily Wharton or Harvard or some of them, I would recommend go to ISB, because if you plan to spend more time in India, getting into ISB alumni in some respects for Indians is almost as good as getting into Harvard Business School alumni. Right at this time. And also ISB has an advantage of 1-year business school. So in 1 year, you will finish it. That will be a significant advantage for you than going into a 2-year MBA. So once you do that, of course, that type of programs are available even in IIMs, may not be in IITs. So next is IIMs and IITs you look at. And only after that, I will look at some top schools. Maybe there are about another 10 or 15 I can think about. Many of the other schools, I wouldn't even touch them with a 10-foot pole. See, this is not a recommendation I will tell fresh graduates. I'm telling because if you are in Amazon, if you are able to last for 3 years, I'm looking at you guys as already the cream de la cream. So I'm assuming that you guys are smart, you are very capable, and you have large amount of skills, and you will be able to get into a lot of good schools. For you, that is the way. But if a listener who is listening to this conversation is actually not having that type of a thing, but they want to do an MBA, nevertheless, same category works. But for them, because they are doing it directly after their undergrad without having a job experience, several of these places like Harvard Business School or ISB or all of them, they may say, we will give you a deferred admission, but first get a couple of years experience before you come. So majority of them, IIMs will be very good. IITs will be very good because they will allow you to get into MBA program directly after your undergrad. Of course, similarly in West also, there are several, Australia, UK, Europe, United States. There are some universities, they will get you directly in there. But if you can get into them, wonderful. The caveat is, Indians seem to be much more eager to spend the kind of money, which will cost like, lakhs and lakhs of rupees or tens of thousands of dollars to get an MBA. Some of the MBAs in United States will cost you 100,000 to or more also easily in 2-year MBA. So sometimes people question whether the return on investment in some of this is as high as the money that you are paying plus the time it takes for you to do. So one caveat at that you have to make the decision for yourself. Is it really worth leaving my job where I'm making 10, 20, 30 lakhs of rupees and put those 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs and lose, not getting the 20, 30 lakhs from the job? And so that means you're actually making an investment of at least 50 lakhs plus last salary.
Plus expenses.
So you need to think carefully if you are in a job like this. Let us say if you are in some local company, you don't get very much salary or you are not very happy with any of them, that becomes a very different situation. But I would recommend look at it carefully before you make decisions regarding it, because some people I found, even after they went through MBA, like I have a friend who was a CEO of an entrepreneurial company that he and his friends have started. Then he went to Kellogg Executive MBA program, spending like something like $150,000 about 10 years ago or more. But when he completed his MBA in Kellogg, basically they were saying, oh, we will get you like a program management at a level 1. He was thinking he will get into a director position or he will get into any of them, but it was not possible at all. So he found that spending, he was already having 2 kids and he left his CEO job as an entrepreneur and then he went and did this $200,000, $300,000 easily investment. He did not feel the return was there for him. So you need to think about it carefully, especially because many Indians, especially now, foreign universities are loving to get the Indian students. And many times when they come in, there are programs specially for them, but they don't even get career placement help. And many of them, especially with the visa situation and all of them, they cannot, it's a very rare opportunity that they will get, all the dreams that they have about coming on. So it is not that it has closed. Actually, still top 10% will get jobs anywhere in the world. There is no question about that. So I'm not trying to discourage people from coming to America or going and doing MBA. After all, I was a business school professor, and I'm still proud of the MBA kind of things which we do. I'm just suggesting, don't jump into MBA game just because everybody else is doing it. Once upon a time, engineering was a craze, computer science was a craze, okay? Then Oracle and some of these was a craze. Now it looks like a MBA craze is going on. Think for yourself and see what is appropriate, because what is applicable to 90% of the people may not be applicable to you because you are not in the 90%. Think about yourself as, I have a unique situation. Let me not be a sheep. Let me do what works for me. That would be one recommendation I will strongly make.
So to summarize everything what you have said, ఎలాగో కార్పొరేట్ లో ఆల్రెడీ పనిచేస్తున్నాం కాబట్టి దేర్ మైట్ బి సమ్ అఫిలియేట్ ఎంబీఏ ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ దట్ వీ కెన్ లుక్ ఎట్ వేర్ తక్కువ డ్యూరేషన్ లో ఎఫెక్టివ్ గా వీ కెన్ కంప్లీట్. ఇఫ్ నాట్ దాట్ ఒక 1 or 2 years స్పెండ్ చేద్దాం అనుకుంటే, యాజ్ వీఆర్ ఆల్రెడీ కటింగ్ డౌన్ అవర్ salaries and also investing little more money, top premium colleges that offer better education and opportunities would be something that we need to look after.
If you are in a high enough position, or if you are a very high performer, sometimes if you tell your bosses saying, we want to get promoted, we have high aspirations and ambitions, I know that you value us and you want us to stay in the job. Is there a way in which you guys can support us to do a part-time MBA? If we commit to you that we will come back, will you be able to support partially or fully for us to do either full-time or part-time MBA and come back? There is nothing you lose by asking.
Yeah.
Several of the good companies that they want to retain their key talent, they may say, at your level, I may not be able to get you an MBA because that will cost so much of money, but I can send you some training programs. I can send you for a 1 week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, like a GAMP, they call it, like a general management programs, finance for non-finance people, or some such things we may be able to send you. Would you be willing to do that? So think about it, ask, because without asking, nobody is going to give it to you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome.
థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్ సార్. సో చాలా సార్లు ఏంటంటే అప్గ్రేడ్ అయితే కెరీర్ లో ఇంకొంచెం ముందుకు వెళ్ళొచ్చు అని పిల్లలకి అనిపిస్తుంటుంది. కానీ ఆ డెసిషన్ తీసుకోవడానికి జాబ్ వదలాలా వద్దా అన్నది అది కొంచెం ఎప్పుడు కన్ఫ్యూషన్ గానే ఉంటుంది. రైట్ పాత్ ఏంటి అన్నది కూడా వాళ్ళకి ఎప్పుడు భయంగానే ఉంటుంది. తీసుకుంటే ఈ టైంలో ఈ డెసిషన్ తీసుకోవడం కరెక్టా కాదని. ఇది మేబీ చాలా మంది కిడ్స్ కి, చిల్డ్రన్ కి, యంగ్స్టర్స్ కి ఇది హెల్ప్ అవుతుంది అనుకుంటున్నాను. థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్ ఫర్ యువర్ టైం అండి. సో నెక్స్ట్ వీక్ మళ్ళా ఇంకొక టాపిక్ తో సాయి చరణ్ అండ్ అఖిలకే ఇంకా చాలా క్వశ్చన్స్ ఉన్నాయి. యాక్చువల్ గా వాళ్ళు ఏంటంటే మేనేజ్మెంట్ లెవెల్ కి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు, కొంచెం మేనేజర్స్ గా అయినప్పుడు టీమ్ ఎలా మేనేజ్ చేయాలి అన్నది వాళ్ళు తెలుసుకోవాలనుకున్నారు. సో నెక్స్ట్ వీక్ ఆ టాపిక్ గురించి మీతో డిస్కస్ చేయాలండి. సో థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్ ఫర్ యువర్ టైం అండి.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Have a wonderful day. Nice meeting you, Akhila, and nice meeting you, Sai Charan. I look forward to interacting with you next week again.
Sure, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.